Greetings YouTube, welcome back to the channel. This is one of those videos that is going to be a little difficult to talk about. And I'm not even sure visually what to show. There's a phrase in broadcast, see dog, say dog, where you typically want to show a visual equivalent of what you're talking about. And, we are going to discuss in this video essentially the very public and very problematic Battlegrounds Merc situation, where you essentially have at least one person out there in the community who I am not a fan of doing hit pieces for the sake of a hit piece sake, so I will not be naming names in this video, but I can guarantee you it is not hard to do some digging online to see still blatant disregard for Kabam's policies, blatant disregard for being someone who causes multiple accounts to be, in this case, temporarily banned. But Kabam has said, and it's time for them to put their money where their mouth is, I guess, is the best way to put it. They've said they're moving from temporary to permanent bans with Mercs. And that is a welcomed thing to see on paper. But actions speak louder than words. And will they actually do it? Will they actually do it when there's somebody out there and they have already been reported, because the story came to me after they had reported this summoner. Someone who's bragging that they have as much as at times 1/3 of a certain percent of the top 500 Battlegrounds scores because of their work. That's an insane amount of accounts, but more than anything, it's proof that Mercing, even with all of what Kabam is trying to say is their new policy, is as alive and well as any time in the history of this game. And that has brought the attention in this video back to how fair is it for people who don't cheat. And of course the answer is not as fair as it would be in a perfect world, but there are still opportunities to get those top spots. It's also interesting to me because we're getting ready to see what the first ever bring everybody to Kabam, and it feels like their version of Willy Wonka. We'll grab some people from all over the world, bring them to one location, and have them duke it out in a competition. So, Kabam, because summoners have sent the advertisements directly to you, who is openly challenging your new ban system. And what you've said on paper is your new policy. This is a summoner who I believe was just banned a couple of seasons ago. But again, if it's a temporary ban and all the accounts come back after a couple seasons, where is the motivation for stopping such behavior? If you're going to give somebody a slap on the wrist, they're going to come back and make an example out of you. And that's exactly what's happened in this situation. So I'm pretty disgusted but not surprised with how blatant the marketing is for this kind of thing. It reminds me of a line in the movie Batman Begins where you worry about escalation, where you get semi-automatics and then they get automatics and so forth, and so they're always one step ahead of you. That's how Kabam has to still feel about Battlegrounds Mercing, where you think that you can find plenty of examples of accounts to kick, but there's a big difference between someone mercing and someone using, say, a software program to mod the game. It's much harder to catch mercs, of course, because they're putting up normal numbers. They're not making it a 7-second fight like I've seen in some past examples of this. But at the same time, it's just really worth noting that this is the kind of thing that makes it even more difficult for people who are trying to push for the top battleground spots fairly to not feel like walking away. And as we discuss the health of the game and the health of the community, this is the kind of thing that Kabam really needs to step up and control for the people who are doing it right. That is the info. I know it was kind of vague, but trust me, it's a huge problem that's going on right now.